When I first came, it was because of something that happened to me very bad. Just literally a couple months before, I was shot and my mum was desperate for me to come because I was involved in gangs, and me and her didn't have a good relationship because by the age of 11, she was taken away from me and she was put in prison for 12 years. And then me and my brother got put into foster care. So I grew up with a lot of anger, a lot of hatred, a lot of grudges in my heart. So I said, let me take part in this purpose, and if it's real, then it will happen to me. So then the purpose came, I took part in it, and as I took part in it, I took part because I wanted a total transformation inside. I wanted to be different. I didn't want to have these anger problems no more. I didn't want to have this rage against people and their families. I didn't want to hate my mum like I did. After all, she was the one who brought me into this world. But I used to hate her with a passion. All these people that I had hatred towards, I didn't want to have it no more, so I let it go. I finally found the strength to forgive them. And I done that. I was praying in the middle of the night, which I never usually do because I didn't like to wake up. I was a person that when I sleep, I love to sleep. I don't like to wake up, so that was very hard for me. I went in my wardrobe and I gave away many, to be honest, every single last piece of designer clothes I had, from Ralph Lauren to Gucci to Lyle & Scott, everything which was popular to the youths of my generation, because we all loved designer things, and to the point where the only things I had left was things practically from Primark, and that was a sacrifice to me because I really loved my designer clothes. After I'd done that, the transformation happened, because after the results, what happened was completely different. For example, me and my mum, our relationship just took a turn for the better in an extreme way that I never even imagined. For example, me and her started going out more, we bonded more, we spoke more, we spent more time with each other, to the point where we even started taking pictures of each other, and the love for her started to restore in my heart. From there is where my transformation happened, as in I received the Holy Spirit, and now I'm completely changed. I'm a changed man. I'm married, got my own house, lovely relationship with my mum. Me and my brother, we get on very well, and I'm just improving every single day that goes by.
Hello, a very good evening and welcome to Finding Answers. Now, I'm not usually here on Thursday in the program. Usually Pastor Michael is here, but I'll be here for about 10 minutes. And I'm going to tell you why. 10 minutes here in front of the camera. I will tell you why in just a moment. But first, there's something I want to tell you. Actually, we were talking about. A lot of people, when they can't cope with their problems, Michael, they look for someone to talk to, right? So they go to a counselor, they go to a friend, and a counselor or a psychiatrist, whatever, we have to remember that person is a stranger. They're professional, but they're a stranger. They go to a friend, and they expose all of their problems. And usually that person can do very little apart from motivating you. But you still choose to tell the person everything you're going through. Look, this is my problem, I don't know what to do. Sometimes you tell a close friend of yours of serious, intimate problems you're having in your marriage. You disclose important things you shouldn't. But the person does that because they believe that that person can somehow help them, and usually is not the case. They end up revealing their problems to everyone, and that problem is still not solved. It's a very common problem nowadays.
Yeah, it's true, because maybe you've been to a counselor, you've been to whoever it is, you've gone to a friend, and that friend has only sided with you. You know, okay, things will change, everything will be okay. That counselor as well, who just listens to your problems. And if you ask them, what do I do? They turn around and say, well, I'm just here to listen. So you don't feel a connection with that stranger. I'm sure you've watched this program more than once, and if you're just tuning in now, you're seeing us for the first time, we are not like that counselor. We are not like that friend. We are more than that, because we have the advice. We have things that we can give to you, we can share with you. We can help you, because the guests who have appeared on this show have been helped as well, right, James?
Yeah, and it's also important to say, we're not saying you shouldn't go to a counselor or you shouldn't go to a friend. I mean, these are people who can sometimes help you and offer some guidance. But more often than not, the idea we want to give is that you empty your problems on someone's lap, if there is such an expression as that, but you do that, but the person can't really solve your problem. I mean, they can empathize with you, they can say it's going to be okay, and that's what most friends do, but they can't really solve your problem. And then again, there's another problem. We are in 2014, and more than ever, people have turned to social media to talk about their problems. I have Esther here with me, as usual. How are you, Esther?
Hello, good evening, I'm well.
Now, social media, whether you have a faith or you don't have a faith, or you're an atheist or whatever, most people use social media now. And sometimes people are so frustrated with their problems. In a moment of anger at someone, I recently saw someone who I know is not a friend of mine, but I know the person was so angry with a family member of his after an argument that they typed and posted the whole argument on Facebook. And I wonder why someone does that, because that's not going to solve the problem. And people usually scroll down the page, they see what the person wrote, and they say, but they don't really do anything about it. And that's another problem, exposing everything you're going through for everyone to see, which doesn't solve anything.
No, I think social networking is a funny one, because you do get people put stuff up. I've got friends, I've seen on the statuses things that I swipe by that say things like, I'm feeling sad today, or you know who your real friends are, or these kind of catty comments or whatever. And I'm thinking, they're not really for the person or for the people reading. It's just for the person they're trying to attack or they're trying to get back at. And I think social networking and having problems is kind of like being in an empty forest and just shouting out, I need help, but I'm not sure where to get it. So I don't know if it's the best way to channel.
And usually when a person shouts in an empty forest, nobody comes. Perhaps if there's a bear, a hungry bear, maybe the hungry bear will come.
So you end up being entertainment for other people. Like you say, we've all done it. We all scroll through and you think, but you rarely stop and go, my goodness, this person needs me today. And so that's where I'm not sure about social networking and counseling. I don't know if that works.
And the reason why we're talking about this, Esther, and you at home, is the following, is that I'm sure you have sometimes met someone that you didn't know very well, but you were going through a tough time and you decided to share your problem with the person because you felt you could trust the person. And again, it's that same old story that the person said, it's going to be okay, don't worry, I've been through that. That makes you feel better for a little bit, but then afterwards you're back to square one because you didn't really solve your problem. Now, why am I saying this to you tonight? And why am I here in front of these cameras? And I will only be here for another few minutes in front of the cameras. I'm not leaving. I'll be behind the cameras and I'll tell you what I will be doing. Usually we have a team of pastors who are here to listen to your problems, to pray for you, and not to tell you it's going to be okay. They're here to say, let's do this, let's do that, it's going to work, it's going to change your life, like the campaign of Israel, which Pastor Michael will be telling you about at the end of the program. When we talk about the campaign of Israel, we're saying, do this, like this, because it's going to change your life. So we're not just saying it's going to be okay, we're saying, do this and it's going to work. So what I'm going to do for the rest of the program, Pastor Michael will be here with Esther, and we have two amazing guests here to talk about their story. Usually we have a team of pastors answering the phone. Tonight, I will personally be taking your calls. And don't worry, because we will not be exposing your problems here on the show unless you want to talk to Pastor Michael here live on air. But I will be there talking to you. Please, if you want to hear someone say, tell me it's going to be okay, I'm not going to say that to you. I'm going to say, let's do this, let's do that, because if we do this, if you do that, it's going to change your life. That's what I'm going to be telling you. So I will be there tonight until the end of this program, throughout the night. And again, there will be other pastors there, but I'll be there. If you want to speak to me, you might have to wait a little bit until I finish talking to the other person. But I'm going to dedicate the rest of this program, the next 50 minutes, to talk to you if you need me. Not for you to just hear someone say, poor you, because I think one of the most condescending things you can ever tell someone is for you. I have a friend who says, "Oh, bless you." And this is one of the most condescending things someone can say, because when you say, "Oh, bless you," it's like, "Oh, poor little you."
It's an English term, right? It's so overused as well. But yeah, as he was saying, James is going to be there answering the calls. And what he's going to advise you, what he will tell you, maybe you're so deep-rooted in your problems that you can't even see the solution. And the solution is just right next to you. It's right there. It's obvious once you hear it, but maybe you can't see it. So we are here to help you, all right? So that number to call is 0207 686 6300. If you feel, no, I don't want to call in, but you'd like to email, then we can pray for you at the end of the program. You have questions regarding tonight's topic or a personal issue, then you can email us at help@findinganswers.tv.
And you know, Michael, how many times you've wrote an angry email? I was talking to a colleague, not a colleague pastor, but someone who works around us, and I was telling this person, look, when you're angry, someone writes an email to you when you're angry, don't write immediately that email. Walk away for a little bit, take a deep breath, come back in half an hour when you've cooled down, and think about what you're going to write. Because when you write something in reply to someone else's email that has made you angry, chances are you're going to make the situation worse by writing something worse. But how many times have you perhaps written something that you later regretted? So put your feelings, put your problem on the page of an email, on your phone, on your computer, send it through. Esther will be reading it here. We're not going to mention your name on air unless you want us to. Pastor Michael can advise you here live on air. If the emails come through, we're going to advise you live on air here. Otherwise, if you give me 2 minutes, I'll be there by the phones now talking to you who are going through problems. I'm going to dedicate the next 50 minutes of my time in there to speak to you. The number once again is 020-7686-6300. 020-7686-6300. We're going to go into a break. When we come back, Michael and Esther will be here with the amazing guests we have. And if you need to speak to us, I'll be there to take your calls. Okay? We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back.
Hi, the Chrissy B Show airs live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, coming to your homes with entertainment, life issues as well as hard-hitting topics, coupled with friendly and practical advice. I love to look at the happier side of life and believe a person can achieve amazing things when they put their mind to it. The Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life.
The greatest campaign of faith of all time.
Senhor nosso Deus, passaremos uma madrugada inteira clamando. E é por isso que nós estamos aqui.
Ó Deus da riqueza, ó Deus da sabedoria.
Para dissipar as obras das trevas que lhes atingem. Responda,
Nós
meu
te
Pai.
pedimos, consagra, meu Deus.
Nós profetizamos e determinamos que se tem que sacrificar tudo. To see things that we have never seen before.
Why is this the greatest campaign? Because it will take place in the Temple of Solomon. Take a look at this promise. Now my eyes will be open and my ears attentive to prayer made in this place. For the first time ever, bishops from all over the world, together with Bishop Macedo, and pastors from all over the world will be united in one faith and one spirit on the greatest altar of God here on earth. Mexico, Bishop Paulo. Portugal, Bishop Julio. USA, Bishop Romaldo. South Africa, Bishop Marcelo Pires. England, Bishop Junior. the greatest campaign of faith of all time at the Temple of Solomon.
Hello again and welcome back to Finding Answers. We're just going to show you a very short clip now of the oldest student in the world, and he's a man in Kenya. So have a look at this.
At Marura Primary School in Nairobi, teacher Julia Wanyoki explains to her 6th grade class the finer points of math. One student is particularly interested. He dreams of becoming a doctor one day. But for the moment, Kimani Nganga Maruge is trying to master the art of drawing right angles. Maruge is 88 years old. He enrolled in school in 2004 following the government's decision to offer universal and free primary school education.
Watu wote wale wahubiri niliwaambia
I was shown by God to go to school.
wanipe jina wimbia. Mimi nilikataa. Kwa hivyo
And he encouraged me to study.
akaonesha mimi, akatuma zawadi kwa mimi ya kuonesha mimi
That is why I am back in school.
nipate jina nafuu.
Maruge is a great-grandfather. He says his main reason for enrolling in primary school was to learn how to read the Bible.
So, the oldest man in education in Kenya. And that's tonight's topic. We're going to be talking about it's never too late to get back into education. And this man, he didn't feel it strange to go back to school. You know, many people would, even teenagers who've missed a year or so while their friends have gone to university. They feel strange that, you know, their friends have gone and then they have to do retakes. This man, it's like 2-3 generations gap, but yet he's still studying. So are you in a predicament where you feel as though it's too late to go back to education? My guest tonight is actually, it was just meant to be one person, Mary, but you know, we changed things around a bit and her husband has joined us, so we're going to be hearing both of their stories as well. So Mary and Samuel Danquah, is that right?
Pastor.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Very good, thanks.
So today you are married, happily married, but you both have individual stories to tell about your lives,
Yeah.
right? So Mary, let's talk about you first. As we don't have much time, so we're going to have to put 2 stories in one program. So please tell us, how was your life before? What was going on before?
Well, my life before was really quite a downturn for me. Before I got invited to a church by my mum. I had graduated from university, and you have the preconception that a degree is going to get you really far. So after graduating, I was looking for certain jobs in the field that I studied in, advertising and media. But I came across many setbacks. I didn't get through to the interviews that I wanted. I wasn't accepted.
What did you study?
I studied media studies
at
university, and I wanted to get a job in advertising. I was very quite specific about the type of role that I wanted. So I was applying, but I wasn't getting anywhere.
Is that a hard industry to get into?
Initially, I didn't think it would be, but the market out there when I had finished was really, really competitive, really, really challenging. You had to not only have the degree, but you had to have the skills as well and experience, which I had the degree, but I didn't have the skills and experience.
Okay.
So much so, it took me up to 2 years to finally get into the field that I wanted to.
2 years?
2 years, so you can
From
imagine.
graduating to actually getting the job?
Getting the job. So
what were you doing in those 2 years?
I had to settle for a job in a supermarket.
Really?
Working part-time, and it was tough. It really, really was a struggle. You can imagine working on the supermarket wage. I didn't have enough money to buy the clothes that I want, to eat the food that I want. There were even times I couldn't even afford the transport to get to and from the job that I had at that time in a supermarket, even to go to interviews. It was really, really, really a downturn in my life.
So I can imagine, you know, your graduation day, the ceremony, the black cape, throwing up the hat, am I right?
Yes, all of that.
Now the future's bright.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly how it was. Future's bright. I had high hopes.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to go, and then to be knocked back was a real shock for me. And then you have the doubts.
When did you realize that, you know what, for now I need to just find any job, so I'll settle for this supermarket? How long was it before you actually got that job? Or did it sink in?
That I had to settle for?
Yeah, settle for less.
Probably about 9 months after.
So you're really trying for 9 months?
Yeah, 9 months solid. Really, really trying, going out there, even going through agencies, contacting people. I was always in the library. I really did all that I could. And then when I wasn't getting anywhere, I just thought, okay.
Did you stay in contact with any friends at university?
I did.
And you heard that?
I did.
I'm in this job, I'm working for such and such company.
Yes, I did.
How did you feel?
And that made me feel like, okay, so what are they doing that I'm not? Or what is it that they have that I don't?
Did you ever ask any of them?
I did ask some of them. Some of them got their jobs through leads and contacts. Some of them, for me at that time, I thought it was just their luck. And I just thought that I had bad luck. Some of them also had a bit of struggles, but that kind of made me think, okay, if they can do it, then that kind of gave me the perseverance to keep going. But then it got to a point where I was just hitting a brick wall. So then I thought, okay, so maybe I just settle for the supermarket job.
And that's what many people do. They settle for less. I remember I was a graduate at university. You know, I got my BA honours in business studies, and I got a job. It wasn't as bad as yours. I got a job, but it was like I had so much expectation on that BA honours degree that I'm going to go places, and it wasn't like that. And everyone's getting a degree now.
Yeah,
it's so everyone's on the same level now. Before it was I want this degree, and it was special, but now because everyone has got a degree, now people are going further. Now it's the masters. And I'm sure there's going to be a point where everyone's going to get a master's and there's going to be something else they're going to do. So at that time, a degree was the thing for you, the pinnacle, if I can say.
Yeah, it was high valued. The fact that I even graduated, I was just like, wow, I've done it. And I've got my degree now. So like I said, I thought my degree would be the one to open up the doors. Because back then, the perception of a degree was highly valued.
Yes.
Not everyone had a degree at that point.
So, in this job, were you till work, packing shelves? What was it?
I was on the checkouts.
Right.
I was on the till. And there were times where I would do shelf stacking, but predominantly I was on the tills and customer services.
How did you feel in that year and a bit on the tills?
I felt quite worthless, actually. I'd gone to university, had this degree, and sometimes I felt even a bit embarrassed. Because, I would tell family, I'll tell friends that, this is where I'm going, this is what I've done. And they would always check on me so how's it going? You've graduated now. Where's the role? Where's the job? What are you doing now? And having to say that I was working in a supermarket was quite degrading as well.
Yeah.
So, it was probably one of the lowest points, shameful kind of points in my life. Not that it was bad, because the fact that I had a job, it was something, but it wasn't what I wanted. And
did you ever think of going back into education? Because I haven't found a job yet. Maybe I should study for one more year. Maybe do a PhD or masters or whatever.
Yeah, it crossed my mind to potentially do a master's.
You were prepared to do that?
But I was prepared to do that because I was just after 9 months not getting anywhere, and coming up to 2 years, I was just maybe I need to go back into education and get the masters as well. But then I thought, okay, so I'll do the masters, but then I still won't have the experience. Yeah. So I'll be in the same situation.
Okay.
Once again.
We're going to change things around a bit because it was meant to be just Mary's story, but we've got a husband here, Samuel.
Hello.
Now, you've come from a different background, right? How was your life before? I mean, I know your story. Please share with us how things were in your life?
So my life before, I was raised up by a single man who passed away at the age of 7. So, you know, I came into the world knowing just myself and her in a small rented accommodation.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even call it a flat. It's a small, as they say in some place in Africa, like a shack. So what I saw, you know, from an early age was her struggling. She had a job that wasn't paying that much. My older brothers and sisters who come to the house to ask her for money, which she didn't have. You know, so she was married and then divorced. So life was very, very hard for her, very, very hard, you know, even living underneath the breadline. So I came into the world experiencing all these things, and at the age of 7, she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I came to, you know, to Birmingham to live with my biological father.
UK?
I came in the UK. Amidst all of that, I was raised up in an environment where not only have I mentioned the separation, but also quite a lot of friction, fights, argument within my household.
Mm-hmm.
For me as a young boy, I always wanted to have, you know, a good role model, not just in the father and the mother, but also in the family environment, because I always had the aspiration to be well married, to be happy, successful, but I didn't see that. So when I came to my teens, I started looking elsewhere for, you know, for attention. Started playing truant. In fact, speaking about it, the topic of education, I love studying, even till today. I really, really love studying. But because of all the issues that was going on around my household, I started playing truant. I started following the bad crowd because I had a void inside of me that I just didn't understand why.
And probably that stemmed from your family, growing up in your family.
That's right, that's right. You know, this emptiness, this void. I was very moody at times. I wouldn't know why I would get angry, why I would get depressed. You know,
Where did that lead you later on in life?
It led me to a very crazy lifestyle. You know, I was arrested, you know, started smoking at the age of 15, clubbing, womanizing, so many crazy things.
You would womanize?
Womanize.
So, go into that because today you're happily married, but how was things before? Why were you with one woman to the next? What?
It was trying to fill that emptiness, if I can say so. This emptiness, I can't even explain what it is, you know, but I was trying to fill the void that I had inside of me. And one of the things that I became hooked on at a young age was pornography. You know, I would just literally, even when I was younger, I looked at the age of 13, 14, 15, I looked almost like 18, going on 19, 20. So I'll go to the shops and buy the magazines. And that just escalated one after the other, then to the videos. And then when I came to the age of started clubbing at the age of even 15, 16, then started meeting women and one after the other. I wanted to find something. I wanted to be loved. You know, I wanted to be appreciated. I wanted to belong to somebody or to be loved. Perhaps the love I didn't receive when I was young, I was looking for it, but now I see in the wrong way. Relationships were broken up because, you know, I was just going by my feelings, my emotions, and I wasn't really making the right choices. And then that just led from one breakup to the next. Then, you know, I was hurt, heartbroken, and then I decided to be the one who did the heartbreaking. You know, I didn't want to be trampled on anymore. I didn't want to be disrespected. So
normally it's women that do that, right? Women are used by men, right? And then they just get to a point where they think, you know what? No more. I'm not going to let any man hurt me. I'm going to hurt them before they hurt me. But it was in your
to
case.
men as well. It happens to men. You know, initially that's what happened to me, and then I decided to, you know.
So were there women out there that were trying to just use you?
I've been
as well
used by many women.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite cold-hearted. You won't believe. And sometimes after one night stand, I wake up and the woman is gone. You know, and I'll think, wow. You know, but then it came to a point that I thought that's the norm. This is society. You know, we just want to have fun, and that's the end of it.
The thing is, you didn't learn your lesson. So when another woman would come on the scene, you would
do the same.
This could be the one.
Yeah, this could be the one. At the back of my mind, but then after many failures, then I had so many doubts in my mind, in the sense that it's not going to work. Let me just, you know, have fun. It's just about sex, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think about anything more than that, because I've tried so many times, I've failed so many times. So the hope of actually having a happy, you know, marriage, family was gone, was just dim. All I wanted was just to...
But inside, deep down, you didn't want to feel that way. You wanted a wife. You wanted someone that you could, you know, be stable with and start your life with that person. Yeah. But the situation caused you to act in a different way. Today, both of you are happy, right? Yes. And we're going to hear both of their stories, how their lives changed after the break. Now, just think about this. You see how open they are. And all the other guests on our program, how open they are. They talk openly about things that they've gone through, you know, hurt that they've been through. People been abused, they slept around, they watch pornography, things that people don't normally open up to. But why are our guests so open? Why? Why are they here on national, Europe-wide TV talking about intimate things? There's been a change in their lives. And you're going to find out how they changed. What is it that caused them to change after the break? So join us then.
The UCKG Helpline Call Centre is open 24 hours a day, every day of the week, all year round. If you need help due to a serious problem you may be going through, if you feel that you have nowhere to turn to and desperately need someone to lend a listening ear, then we can help you. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have done, your religion or race, your call will be answered by someone who genuinely cares about you and has your best interests at heart. We also arrange home visits for the housebound and hospital visits for anyone in great need of kindly human contact. Whether it is simply information you want or desperately need someone to talk to, we're here for you on 0207 686 6000.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Just a reminder, don't forget, if you'd like to talk to someone now over the phone, Pastor James is there by the phones waiting for your call. If you want to talk to him personally, you want to share anything with him, even include your name for the prayer at the end of the program, then give the number a call. It's on your screen now, 0207 686 6300. Now, Esther, we've got some slides, right, of some people, some famous people.
We do.
Who went back into education.
Yes, well, tonight's topic is education, and you'd be surprised to see that even celebrities decide to go back into school. So we've got, first of all, we've got Michael Jordan. He actually left school when he was quite young, and then he went back to study geography later in his life and got his degree, which is really good. Hollywood actor Martin Sheen, the dad of Charlie Sheen, some of you might know him as, he went back to Galway University, or went to Galway University at the age of, I think it was 66. That's actually very close to where I'm from in Ireland, so special interest in that one. And the actress Sandra Bullock, she started her early career doing lots of movies and loads of acting opportunities and earning lots of money, but decided that she wanted to go back to education as well. So she went back to study in Carolina University. Just think it's quite interesting that even if you have fame or money or whatever, an education is always in your heart, you know?
Yeah, and it's across the world, right? The video of the old man in Africa went back into education. And these famous rich people who you would think they have it all going for them, right? They're going to get opportunities for films and, you know, another match where they're going to win and earn millions, but they decide to go back into education. And the thing is, it's never too late, Esther, right?
It's never too late, Pastor.
It's never too late. So that's it. And it's never too late to give us a call if you want help or advice as well, all right? So back to our guests, Mary and Samuel. So we heard before the break the picture of your life. Mm-hmm. There's so many other things. We don't have the time, but let us talk about how you found a solution to your problems. Mm-hmm. So, Mary, with you and the unemployment, being unhappy, working in a very famous supermarket, I assume, on the checkouts, you know, down, were you depressed?
I was depressed.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would say like it was one of the lowest points that I found myself in, yeah.
Right. Should be the happiest time of your life,
yeah,
but one of the worst moments of your life.
Yeah.
How did things change?
Things started to change when I was invited to a church by my mum. Mm-hmm. And it was there that I learned that, you know, I had to change my perceptions, that even though what I was doing, I wasn't seeing the results, that there could be change, that there was hope. And I was invited to come for the Monday program, right, to the sessions, and there I learned how to use my faith in relation to my finances.
And how would you use your faith in terms of your finances? Because there's some people, even Christians, that will think, you know, we're not allowed to pray for money. It's wrong. It's not good to pray for money. Is that what you learned?
No, it was quite the opposite. I mean, it wasn't that, you know, I wanted the money for my own kind of pride and self-gain. Obviously, I wanted to be able to buy the things that I want, live where I want. But I was praying, you know, for a better life. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, you know, using your faith to determine something good in your finances so that you have the means to live.
And it's not that you're lazy. We're not saying that you pray and then magically God's going to just give you a job like that. Yeah. You just sit at home and eat chips, your lap. Yeah. And everything's gonna, fall into your lap. You were hardworking.
I was hardworking, and it was from coming to the church that I learned that, you know, I had to go out there and I had to act in combination with my faith, so praying, but also taking actions. So I learned there to go for what I wanted and not settle just for the supermarket.
Right.
I learned there to persevere. I learned that, you know, that there was a better life out there for me. God had a plan for me.
So your mindset, if I can say, changed. Your perception on your life changed.
Yes. And I think that was one of the most important things, actually, that happened. So as I was learning, I was coming continuously. I went for the jobs that initially before I didn't have the faith to go for. I applied myself, I used my faith, I even went to the place where I wanted to work, even though I didn't have an interview there, believing that, you know, I would get through to the interview stage. So from doing that, you know, I showed God that I was serious, I wasn't just praying, and that I wanted a change. And it also helped me in my character, boosted me as well, to come out of the depression that I was sinking into.
Yeah. We just want to cut you here. We're getting it all tonight. We've got a live caller now. Hi. Hello.
Hello there.
Hi. Who am I speaking to?
Miss Eric.
Sorry?
Eric.
Harry.
Eric. No, Eric.
Eric. Sorry, Eric. Welcome to the program. How can I help you, sir?
I just want to give my opinion about never too late to either study or get married.
Yes.
There's a time for everything, and there's no time. Well, actually, there's no time for set time for learning, and there's no barriers or ageism to actually when one actually want to learn. So there's not, I'll say, a set time to doing like getting married or actually educating oneself. It's just when it is right for that person or oneself actually to go forward.
Right.
Like the president they were talking about, the celebrities who just went back. It's time for them to actually achieve what they want to in their life, because they actually have to go back to achieve things.
Eric, are you talking from an experience at all yourself?
Yeah, because I've been in education for a long time. I used to teach students who wanted to move on in their life and found that they had to come back to education to actually move on.
Right.
They were quite mature in terms of their age. They were actually young.
So sometimes it seems like you're taking a step back, but actually your students that you've seen, they've actually stopped, actually studied, so they can move forward. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
So it's an investment.
Yes, that's exactly what you're doing. You know, you invest in your future, in your life, and that's why people always have to go back into education, because one is always learning. So it's a general process that one have to say, okay, I need to move on in my life, but I have to be humble to actually go back to school to actually achieve what I want to do.
Yes. Eric, thank you very much for your input on that. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So it's true what Eric said, right? And that's what was happening. Well, not necessarily happening with you, but you've learnt to move forward by actually attending church.
Yes.
You're trying your best on your own. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
So you decided, I'm going to try God. And that's what you did.
That's what I did.
And as you said, your mindset, your vision on your life and the opportunities that could be open for you changed.
Yes.
And when did you see a breakthrough?
And it was like you said, Pastor, like my vision changed, my mindset changed. And it was almost like at that point in the moment, it was like, now you're ready. So, you know, the doors opened in a way that I could not have even imagined.
What happened?
The way that what God did is that, so I managed to get interviews for 3 global companies. I didn't have the skill set, I only had the degree. I went through various rounds of interviewing stages, very vigorous, very tough, but I got through to each stage. I was whittled down to the last 3. So much so I got, you know, all 3 job offers. In fact, when they found out that I got offers from other well-known advertising agencies, they started to fight over me.
Right.
I chose my start date, I chose my salary. When I started the company, you know, within the first 2 months, I was selected to go on a trip to Paris to head up one of the big client works that we have out there. And since then, you know, God has really, really been opening the doors and blessing. So much so to today, now I'm an associate director in the company. Yes. This year I got a promotion, I got a bonus, I'm earning over £40,000 in my salary. So when I look back from where I was to today, you know, everything has changed in my finances.
That's just the beginning.
That's just the beginning.
Right?
Yes.
So you see, from being unemployed after graduating, no hope, to coming to God, having her vision expanded, if I can say that, opened up, to 3 companies, big global companies, fighting for you to join them.
Yes.
3.
Yes.
So what is that? That's not coincidence. That's not even luck that you may think. That is God's hand in her life because she did something different. Her mind changed through the messages. And that's what we do. We are like God's ambassadors here, where we help you understand how your life can be through prayer, through God intervening in your life if you allow him to. So your life has changed today.
My life has changed today.
Samuel, unhappy, womanizer, depressed, you know, nightlife, drugs, as you mentioned. How did your life change?
Similar, like my wife, I came I was introduced to the church as well. And what I learned, the first thing that I saw within myself is that I was a coward. You know, being sincere, I was a coward. I had many aspirations, many dreams, and I had the determination to achieve them. But within myself, I was very weak. I couldn't face up to my problems. I was hiding behind, you know, with the drinking and womanizing and so on and so forth. And it was a testimony that I heard of a lady who was an ex-addict and how she overcame the addiction. But through that, I saw in her an attitude, a spirit of a fighter, that she channeled her energies, her anger against the problem and actually overcame the addiction. And through that, I saw that, wow, I can also do that. If only I can have that attitude, that same mentality, I can also change my life around.
Her testimony gave you hope.
Gave me hope and strength.
That you can change.
Yes, and strength. And, you know, I started learning how to use my faith, how to, you know, put my determination into the right place, channel my energies in the right place and start changing my life step by step.
Yes.
And today the greatest, you know, joy that I have within me is how I've changed my character. I'm now a fighter. I never, you know, accept any problems. I fight against them, I overcome them. Through that, I'm now free from the addictions. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't womanize. I'm very happily married now.
How long have you been married now?
Coming up to a year.
Yeah, in August.
A year?
Yeah.
Yes. Right, and you met together in the church?
In church, yes.
Yes, and that's another story, right?
Yes.
So, how did you meet? How are things? Because you were single, both single.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Approached her
Quickly.
first. I made a purpose of faith,
Right.
which, you know, I believe we're going to speak about later on, which I really challenged my faith because I believe that that dream can come to pass. I always imagine myself, you know, being happily married with the right person by my side, you know, helping me through life battles. And through that, I really pushed my faith and challenged myself and did something extraordinary, you know, to show to God that I really believe that you can give me, you know, this person. You can help me, you know, push me in the right direction towards this person. So and that's exactly what happened.
You turned to God.
Yeah.
Now everything was, you know, you got yourself stable in life, overcome the problems, but now there's an area missing, which is your love life.
There's a void.
And you experience, you taste what God can do in your life. So let me try for my love life.
Why not?
Yes. And did you do the same
It's
thing?
exactly the same. I was progressing in my finances, but then the area of my love life, there was a void, there was a hole, because there was nobody there to share the success with. So then I came to God as well, used my faith. I came to the sessions on a Saturday where I learned how to prepare for when the right person would come into my life. And then, to cut a long story short, we met in 2010. And what was lovely about it is that we met in the church. So we had the same kind of principles, values, everything worked out well. Really, God really had his hand in my love life, because Samuel talked about how he was. Mine was a similar background where I had many failed relationships. But coming to God and, like, you know, says God, look, God, I want you to be in charge of my life. I want you to guide and direct me. He really blessed everything. We have the same principles, goals. We got on well. Our backgrounds matched. It was...
Yes.
It was blessed.
And the thing is, you met together, but normally, sometimes when a couple meet together, they normally, once they learn about each other's backgrounds, it's like, how many men were you with? How many women were you with? Tell me about it. I want to know. And then they start comparing. And then there's those issues there. That wasn't with you.
It wasn't.
Though you were womanizing, you had many women, many partners, you had failed relationships, but it was like God had wiped the slate clean, so you can start again.
And what caught my attention, what was more attractive to me in her, was her spirit, her character. You know, to me, for somebody to have been in that situation and to have overcome that, to me, that is a great person to be by their side.
You didn't see the depressed
I didn't see
Mary
that. No.
When she graduated. You saw someone totally different.
Exactly.
You didn't see that depressed, womanizing Samuel. He was different.
Yes.
And that's hope for you, right? And what he mentioned, what Samuel and Mary are talking about, was this, the purpose. The campaign of Israel. This is what changed their lives. This envelope here can change your life. These are special purposes that we have in the church for you who want your life to become extraordinary. Not ordinary, because maybe your life is ordinary at best. Maybe your life is in tatters, like theirs were. But if you want an extraordinary life, then do something extraordinary. If you want to know more about this and how your life can change, if what they have said, mentioned tonight, you can relate to, or any other testimonies you've seen here, then remember, Pastor James, he's there, still waiting, he's been taking calls, and he'll take your call if you want to know more about the campaign of Israel. All right? We're going to go for the prayer. I'd like to invite you to call now if you want to include your name for the prayer. Give us your name, give us the area of your life that you like prayer for, and we'll be praying for you. All right? Esther.
Yes.
We have
mail of the day.
The mail of the day.
Yes. Someone needs your advice, Pastor.
Yes.
So they haven't disclosed their name, but they've said, "Hello, pastors. When I was born, I was abandoned by my mother as a child, and due to my family's poor circumstances, I was not able to get past my primary school education. Since coming to this country, I have bettered myself. I could not read or write well, but now I am at a good level. I am 45 years old and have relied on people all of my life because of my lack of education. Many have treated me badly because of my situation. I have worked a domestic job for over 20 years and I am tired. I want to change my situation, but I'm too afraid. I don't know where to start. Please could you advise me and pray for me?"
We'll be praying for you. What's her name?
They didn't disclose the name.
Okay.
Right.
We're going to be praying for you because it's never too late. You've mentioned your age, you've mentioned your problems, but it's never too late. What should you do if you're trying to move forward and you cannot? As we learnt here, you take a step, not back, but you evaluate your life, evaluate where you are going. And if it means, in your situation, attending a church, if it means giving us a call, you've sent your email now. If it means looking for help, then do so. It's an investment in your life, right? And maybe this could be your opportunity. If you are fed up with your life the way it is, maybe the campaign is for you. If you haven't seen things going your way, the way you want it to, your life has been ordinary, then why not do something extraordinary, right? Do something that grabs God's attention, because that's what he's looking for. God is looking for people who are different, people who stand out. Isn't that what happens when someone's promoted? Someone's not promoted because they're normal like everyone else. Someone's promoted because they stand out from the others. And you can do something to stand out and grab God's attention, for him to have a hand in your life, to bless you. The campaign of Israel could be for you who sent this email and the rest of you as well who are in need of help. So yes, we'll be going for the prayer. So get your glass of water ready. We're going to be praying for you right now.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like a prayer for your general well-being, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I join my faith and Mary. And we have learnt, they are an example, that it's never too late. It's never too late to find a solution to problems, my God. Mary, she could have quit. She could have settled for that job. Samuel could have said, there's no one out there for me, so let me continue this lifestyle that I'm living. But you gave both of them hope. They didn't know each other yet, but you blessed them when they used their faith, when they turned to you and did something extraordinary, something that grabbed your attention. And once you fixed them both, they didn't know it, but you were making them ready for one another. And today they are happy. Today they are married and moving forward. These two became one. So my God, we have viewers out there who are also in tatters, who are broken, who are going through problems in life, problems with addictions, problems in their love life, problems in their health, and maybe they're ashamed to talk to someone. They are ashamed to ask for help. My God, where they are now, you are visiting them. So do it now, my God. We cannot physically touch them, but your presence can. Our words are reaching out now to this person. So I pray that your Spirit will heal this broken heart, will take away this burden from their shoulders. And this person will be able to move on, move forward, my God. My friend, you're not moving backwards. Your life may be stuck now, but I say to you, you can move forward. You can with the help of this prayer. So God, I bless this glass of water. And when they will drink it, even if they don't have a glass of water, but as they accept this prayer inside them, do this change now in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Drink this glass of water and be renewed, be cleansed, be strengthened by God. Okay, wonderful testimony tonight. All right, it wasn't planned, but we managed to get them to share their story. And just to remind you, we are going to have a special program on Wednesday of next week, where we'll be talking about, the subject will be about spiritual attacks. If you have experienced this, you don't have peace when you sleep. Your sleep is interrupted by a presence in the room. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll just mention a film, Paranormal Activity. If you ever watch that film, you can understand what I'm talking about. If this has ever happened to you, we are going to have people on the program to share their experiences, but how they beat those forces that are at work at night time. If there is something that goes bump in the night, then we would like to hear from you, okay? You can send in an email with your experiences and we'll be able to help you. That program will be this Wednesday at 11 p.m. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow for another Finding Answers. Bye-bye.